Ever had just one work problem totally hijack your whole day, making you wonder if maybe you just don't have enough grit? Well, what if the real answer isn't actually more toughness, but something much, much simpler? You just need more backup. Because when you're working all by yourself, a single vague client message doesn't just, arrive. It can actually walk right into your quiet room and instantly transform into a full-blown board meeting about your entire future. The message itself might be tiny, like barely a whisper of text, but the feeling it ignites, that's anything. Picture the scene. You are at your desk, trying to act like a calm professional adult. Then one client sends, "Can we talk?" with no context, no emoji, and the emotional warmth of a parking ticket. Nothing has happened yet, but your stomach has already packed a small bag and moved to another country. That is not because you are dramatic. It is because your brain is doing the whole meeting by itself. In an office, a strange message would usually meet other humans before it became a full identity crisis. Someone might lean over and say, "That client writes like that to everyone." Someone else might say, "Take lunch first." Even one bored coworker making a face across the room can shrink the problem back to normal size. Solo work removes a lot of those tiny pressure valves. And the cruel part is, you usually do not notice them until they are gone. Freelancing sells freedom, and yes, freedom is real. Upwork found that 64 million Americans freelanced in 2023, about 38% of the US workforce. That is not a tiny side quest anymore. But freedom also means you may be the worker, the manager, the customer service desk, the pep talk, and the person pretending not to panic, all before lunch. No wonder one message can feel heavy. Here is the annoying truth: your nervous system does not care that you technically chose this job. It cares whether you have signals of safety around you. The US Surgeon General's social connection page says social isolation increases the risk of premature mortality by 29%. That is a big health fact, but the smaller daily version matters too. When you feel cut off, stress has fewer exits. It stays in the room with you. Remote work data shows the same shape in a softer way. Buffer's 2023 State of Remote Work report found that 1 in 3 remote workers said they stay home too often because they do not have a reason to leave, and loneliness was another major struggle. That is not the same as freelancing, but it rhymes. When the room gets too quiet, your brain starts narrating the silence. And wow, the narrator can be rude. This is where people often blame themselves. They say, "I should be tougher. I should not need reassurance. I should be able to handle one message, one invoice delay, one quiet day, one awkward client call." But the problem is not that you need a stadium of applause. The problem is that you are trying to run a whole emotional weather system with no windows open. When nobody is nearby, your brain fills in the missing voices. Sometimes it chooses helpful voices. More often, it chooses the worst unpaid intern imaginable. It says, "The client hates the work. The business is over. Everyone else is handling this better. You should have become a person with a badge and a lunch break." None of that is evidence. It is fear trying to sound organized. So the first reset is not a productivity hack. It is a size check. Before you solve the problem, you ask, how big is this in real life, and how big does it feel because I am carrying it alone? Those are different questions. A late reply might be a 2 out of 10 problem. Alone at midnight, it can feel like an 8. The work is learning not to obey the 8 just because it is louder. Try this example. A client asks for one more revision after you already did the work twice. If you are alone, the story can become, "I have no boundaries, nobody respects me, I am bad at business, and somehow this also means I am bad at choosing software." But if you put the same problem in front of one grounded person, they might say, "This is a scope issue." Send the boundary email. Charge for the extra round. Eat something. See how boring and useful that is. That is the sound of the problem, returning to normal size. Support is not someone rescuing you from adulthood. Support is someone helping you sort facts from fear while your nervous system is busy writing a courtroom drama. And yes, sometimes the support person is a therapist, coach, friend, partner, peer group, accountant, or another creator who understands why a client saying quick question can feel like a tiny trapdoor. The point is not one perfect person. The point is not making your whole emotional life depend on one chat thread. The point is a map. Because when the panic starts, you will not invent a support system from scratch. You need the support system already written somewhere your stressed brain can find it. Here is the Help Reset map. It has 4 boxes, and none of them require becoming a different personality by Friday. Box 1 is the work person. This is someone who understands the actual work problem. Maybe they know clients, pricing, editing, design, coaching, or whatever you sell. Their job is not to soothe your entire childhood. Their job is to help you see the work problem clearly. Box 2 is the honest person. This is the friend, partner, sibling, or trusted human who can hear the emotional part without immediately turning into your project manager. You are not asking them to fix the client. You are asking them to sit with you for a minute so the problem stops echoing. Box 3 is the body reset. I know, annoying, but your brain lives in a body and the body keeps voting. A walk, water, food, breath, shower, stretch, or stepping outside can lower the volume enough for the facts to come back. Box 4 is the written next step, not the whole 5-year plan. One sentence: I will reply tomorrow at 10, I will ask for the missing file, I will quote the extra revision. I will check the pipeline before assuming silence means failure. One next step gives fearless empty space to decorate. Notice what this map does. It does not say, stop feeling things. It says, stop carrying the whole thing in a closed room. That is the difference between being emotional and being unsupported. Emotional means your body is responding. Unsupported means the response has nowhere useful to go. A lot of solo creators confuse those two and then shame themselves for needing help. Let us make it plain. A support map is not neediness. It is infrastructure. Nobody calls a calendar needy because it remembers meetings. Nobody calls a password manager dramatic because it keeps track of things your brain should not have to hold. So why do we act like a human support plan is embarrassing? You are allowed to build systems for your feelings too. Here is where the story gets a little uncomfortable. Some creators avoid asking for support because they do not want anyone to see how much one small problem shook them. So they wait, they refresh, they overthink. They write 6 versions of a reply and send the stiffest one. Then, because the pressure had no exit, it leaks somewhere else. A partner gets the sharp tone. A friend gets the disappearing act. The creator gets the late-night self-attack. That is the cost of carrying everything alone. And the strange thing is, early support usually needs less drama than late support. Early support can be a boring text. Can I reality check this client message with you for 5 minutes? Late support becomes, I have not slept, I hate this business, and I have decided the email app is personally against me. One of those is much easier for everyone involved. The goal is not to make every problem public. Some things are private, and some client details should stay confidential. So you can ask for support without handing over the whole file. You can say, I got a vague message from a client and my brain is making it bigger than it is. Can you help me sort the next step? That protects privacy and still gets you out of the echo chamber. This matters because solo work trains you to be both independent and isolated, and those are not the same thing. Independence says, I can make decisions. Isolation says, I must make every decision with no witness, no feedback, and no place to put the stress. Independence is strong. Isolation is expensive. The tricky part is that isolation can look productive from the outside. You are answering emails. You are delivering work. You are not bothering anyone. But inside, every small problem is getting heavier because no one else sees it early. That is why the first sign is often not a breakdown. It is resentment. You start thinking, why does nobody help me? And then you remember, painfully, that nobody knows you need help because you made being fine your whole brand. Here is the gentle correction. Being private is allowed. Being unreachable to every kind person in your life is not a mental health strategy. You do not have to turn your group chat into a therapy office. You can simply choose 2 or 3 people and give each person a realistic job. The work person gets the work question. The honest person gets the feeling. The body reset gets the adrenaline. The written next step gets the business moving again. Now watch how different the same problem feels. The client says, can we talk? Old version, you freeze, build 7 theories, check the contract, reread the project folder, then lose the afternoon. Help reset version, you write, I am having a vague client message spiral. I am going to take a walk, then I will ask what they want to discuss. If it is scope, I will reply with the extra round rate. That is not perfect. It is calmer. Calmer is the win. The support map also helps with quiet days. When the inbox is loud, you panic. When the inbox is quiet, somehow you also panic. Very elegant of the human brain. On quiet days, the work person can help you look at the pipeline instead of the mood. The honest person can remind you that silence is not proof you are finished. The body reset can stop you from refreshing like the inbox is a fortune teller. The written next step can be one follow-up, not a whole reinvention of your personality. There is another hidden benefit. Support teaches your brain what normal feels like. If every hard moment happens alone, your brain starts using panic as the default meeting room. But when you repeatedly bring small problems to safe people and practical steps, the brain slowly learns, oh, we do not have to burn down the whole day for one message. We have a door. We have people. We have a next step. That is boring in the best possible way. Let us talk about what support is not. Support is not sending screenshots to 10 people until one person tells you exactly what you want to hear. Support is not asking your partner to become a client strategy department at midnight with no warning. Support is not dumping the same problem every day and refusing the obvious next step. That is not support. That is panic outsourcing. Real support includes a clear ask and a small responsibility on your side. You might ask, can you listen for 5 minutes? Can you help me pick between 2 replies? Can you remind me what is factual here? Can we talk after dinner, not while I am pacing with my laptop open? Those asks are much easier to receive because the other person knows where to stand. Here is a line you can steal. I am making this bigger because I am alone with it. Can I reality check it with you for 5 minutes? That sentence owns the feeling without attacking anyone, names the need, and puts a time boundary around the ask. For a work peer, you can say, I need a second set of eyes on the business part, not emotional rescue. Is this a normal revision request or a scope boundary? For a friend, you can say, I do not need you to fix it. I just need to say it out loud so it stops sounding huge in my head. For your own body, you can say, I am not solving this until I have eaten and stepped away from the screen. Yes, talk to yourself like you are someone worth managing kindly. Strange concept, I know. Now, if you are thinking, I do not have those people, that is not a failure either. It is information. Start smaller. 1 peer community, 1 creator chat, 1 carking session, 1 therapist directory search, 1 message to a friend you already trust a little. The map can begin with blanks. Blank boxes are not proof you are broken. They are places to build. And if your stress feels dangerous, if you might hurt yourself, or if you are in crisis, that is not a support map moment. That is a reach for immediate help moment. Use local emergency services, a crisis line, or a qualified professional where you are. A YouTube video can be a nudge, but it cannot be your whole safety plan. For everyday work stress, though, the rule is simple. Do not solve scary work problems only inside your own head. Your head is useful, but it is also the place where fear has admin access. Put the problem somewhere with a little more air. A page, a walk, a work peer, a person who loves you, a message that says, I need a quick reality check. That small move can save the whole day from becoming a verdict on your life. So this week, before the next client message, quiet inbox, awkward revision, or weirdly cold email, write your help reset map. 1 work person, 1 honest person, 1 body reset, 1 written next step. Keep it boring, keep it reachable. Keep it somewhere you will actually see it when your brain starts acting like the client email is a thunderstorm. The payoff is not that you will never panic again. You are a person, not a spreadsheet with better branding. The payoff is that panic does not get to be the only voice in the room. A small problem can stay small. A bad day can stay 1 day. And you can be independent without being alone. Before you close this, make the map boring enough to use on a bad day. Do not hide it in a beautiful app you open twice a year. Put it in a note, on a card, or inside the notebook that already collects your unpaid ideas and suspicious coffee stains. Add names, not categories. Not someone helpful. A real person, not movement. A real reset you will do. The best support plan is not impressive. It is reachable when your hands are shaky and your brain is trying to become a legal department. Also, practice the map before the crisis. Send 1 low-stakes reality check message this week. Ask a peer about a small client wording issue. Tell a friend, I am trying not to carry work stress alone, so I may ask for a 5-minute check sometimes. You are not asking them to be on call forever. You are making support less weird before the day gets loud. This makes the first real ask feel less like jumping off a roof and more like using a door you already opened. And choose your people with care. Not everyone who loves you is good for every kind of support. Some people are wonderful and still terrible at work advice. Some people panic faster than you do, which is honestly impressive but not useful. Some people are kind but too tired right now. That does not make them bad. It makes them the wrong door for that moment. A strong map gives people jobs they can actually do. So you stop asking the wrong person for the wrong kind of help and then calling yourself unsupported. If the work person is busy, use the written next step. If the honest person is tired, use the body reset first. If the body reset helps but the decision is still unclear, bring it to the work person tomorrow. You are not failing because 1 route is closed. You are using the other routes you built. The map is not a chain. It is a set of doors. You try the one that fits the moment. That is how a small problem stays in motion instead of becoming a private storm. So your rule for the week is this: no scary work problem gets sentenced only inside your head. It gets air, a page, a person, or one grounded next step. That is not weakness. That is how humans stay steady while doing work that was never meant to be carried in silence. Save the map before you need it, because panic is very bad at admin. Put the first name down today, even if the rest of the boxes are still blank. A half-built bridge is still better than standing in the flood pretending you enjoy swimming. In part 2, we are going to take this map and turn it into the actual sentence most people avoid. Asking for help before the stress turns into snapping, silence, or a 3-paragraph apology nobody wanted to receive.